It's playtime, right? We'll play a game.
Yeah, I want to play a game.
Good. All right, let's see. How about we play a little game of hide and seek?
I love hide and seek. I'll hide.
Well, now, hang on a sec there. Your dad likes you to show good manners, right, Tubby McFatfuck?
Okay, you hide first.
Great, fantastic. Okay, now you count to 100, and then you try to find me, okay?
Okay. Do I need to wash my hands before I play this game?
Yeah, no, that's a weird fucking question. No, just start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
For those of you that are listening again, this has to do with a set of VHS tapes from 1993 called UFO Diaries. And apparently they contain many new faces on Mars that have never been released by Richard Hoagland or approved for release by NASA.
I'm NASA and you're not?
I still don't understand why, a researcher like Richard Hoagland, who, if he made this VHS set and he was in these videos, why he would deny that they exist, because he knows that he would have to understand and know that those tapes would eventually resurface. And it's apparently in 2003, somebody sent Gary a copy of these VHS tapes on a CD so that he could view them.
This is delicate to talk about because the individual who is promulgating this is not totally here, and I don't mean that in a positive sense. He calls himself Mad Martian, and unfortunately that is somewhat accurate. Gary, that's his real name, Gary Leger, unfortunately is not well. He needs help. And Robin and I, through many years, tried to help him quietly, privately, in ways that I don't have to go into. And I have the awful feeling that Gary has been turned into a kind of misguided missile by the dark side, by the bad guys, in an effort to basically throw more spaghetti on the wall. And so I view Gary as someone who is predisposed to be susceptible to influences where he becomes a disinfo agent. The good news is, by Gary doing what he's doing, he's forcing more people to ask deeper and better questions like you, allowing me the opportunity to set the record straight.
Let's try to avoid specific names when we refer to these various questions, if we can, when individuals are at stake, and rather than criticize them directly, can we talk a little bit without putting their names on unless you really want to do that?
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, yes, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know. I'm just saying that just for it give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Go right ahead, Richard, and answer the question.
After that, okay.
Oh yeah, we're back on Scepter Radio Network, the home of 4.6 million tune-ins. Don't ask me how that happened. I am just happy. But guess what, guys? You know what's really cool is that
after that,
Scepter, we're a little tiny network, but we're coming up strong, and we got some great shows here. And I have some big news. We have some major players coming to Scepter Radio Network. I am shocked. After this weekend at Awaken Aware,
after that,
there was some serious networking that took place, and we got some big-time personalities coming to Scepter Radio Network. You guys are going to be shocked when you find out exactly who it is.
Dick.
After that.
Speaking of Awaken Aware, okay, so Mad Martian is pissed off at me because I unfriended him on Facebook, and you know what? Here's the deal. Don't call me on my fucking personal cell phone. Don't do that. You want to piss me off? There's email, there's Facebook messaging, there's the United States Postal Service, and fucking Federal Express. If you're gonna get in contact with me, don't call me on my personal cell phone, because that's reserved for my family and very, very close personal friends. I want you guys to know, if you're my friend through Facebook or we have hooked up at a conference, I would never, ever bust into your house or your personal life by calling your cell phone. unless you specifically told me that that was the deal. Because I respect you guys, and I respect your privacy, and that's the deal. Mad Martian called me on my cell phone. That's all he had to do to make things not good between the two of us. So
you're so full of crap, Anthony. You're using that phone call as an excuse. Like I'm breaking into your house. God forbid I called your fucking cell phone. Oh my God. So let me say this, that you're using that as a tactic and an excuse to make it valid, or to appear to make it valid to your listeners, that you're trying to pull me off as like a bad person, when in fact of was that you were reach around it and did a deal with Hoagland. And them coming to your network, and lo and behold, you gave Robin a show on your network. Isn't that coincidental, punk?
Was the show popular with Mad Martian? Hell yes. Was it extremely popular? Hell yes it was. Mad Martian's show was heavily downloaded. It's still available in the archives if you guys want to listen to it.
Liar, no you don't. You tore it down to suppress it from the listeners. But I saved the archive on www.thefacesofmars.com.
I actually have a part 2 to the Mad Martian show, because at Awaken Aware, I asked Richard Hoagland the question, is it true that you are suppressing images from Mars, in collusion with NASA? I asked him to his face. And Richard Hoagland, being the dude that he is,
I'm NASA and you're not?
he got in my face and he told me like it was. He says no. And if I was, if images were being suppressed by NASA, don't you think I'm the one that would be the one to out that? Don't you think that I'm the one who would, be the most angry? And you know what? I have to agree with Richard C. Hoagland on this one.
I'm NASA and you're not?
I'm not buying into the fact that what Mad Martian is saying, that there are images that are being suppressed from Mars, by Richard Hoagland. Do I think that there are images being suppressed, maybe by NASA? Hell yes, I do. But not by Richard Hoagland.
I'm NASA and you're not?
I think Richard Hoagland would be the first one to want to tell us, guess what I found? Guess what I found out? Guess who's doing what from within NASA?
I'm NASA and you're not?
So Mad Martian, dude, I'm sorry. Not going to happen. Oh, and by the way, I want you guys to know something. I almost gave Mad Martian a show right here on Scepter because of the craziness behind the popularity that he generated on that particular show. I'm not beholden to Richard Hoagland, nor am I beholden to Mad Martian. I make decisions on behalf of Scepter Radio Network, based on what I feel is good for for Scepter Radio Network.
Yeah, aiding and abetting those that cover up the truth, that are suppressing the truth. Nice affiliates.
Mad Martian? Yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Very interesting personality. I know that he would have had thousands of people listening to him on a weekly basis because of that Howard Stern effect, i.e., what's he gonna say next? But the one thing that Mad Martian brings to the table, there's just too much animosity between him and, actually it's just from him.
No, you had it right. Don't lie to the people now. There's too much animosity between Richard and myself. And it's funny how you told me in that personal message that you sent to me and Mike on Facebook regards to asking my show that you didn't give a fuck what Richard Hoagland had to say. So now all of a sudden you're changing your mind. You want the people to know because there's too much animosity between Richard and myself. Boy, what happened to your balls? I told you. They must not come all that often.
Because I don't think there's any animosity from Dr. Robin and Richard Hoagland after having met them at Awaken Aware and having heard them.
No, you had it right. Don't lie to the people now. There's too much animosity between Richard and myself. Supposedly you never met them and knew them before. So when you met them there and then you're talking with them, so you're getting the impression that it's just on me? I don't think so. You're lying. It's because you covered your words. Because you said on an animosity between us two. But then, no, just myself. And you, after you talking to them? So that means you're lying.
So, look, I heard Mad Martian's side of the story. I heard everything from that guy.
There you go again. You're lying again. You haven't heard everything from me. Most of the time I was on that show with you that night, you were arguing with me and had those schmucks on from Scam-Alot on, trying to set me up. Stop lying.
And I know what he's talking about, where he's coming from. But after talking to Dr. Robin and Richard Hoagland, I now know both sides of the story.
Again, like you think they told you the truth. So why don't you tell us all what she said and what he said? Okay, because if you think you know all the facts from me, which you're lying about outwardly, which I obviously show and expose your lies of, but now you're stating that you interviewed them, basically. So what did they say? Where's their words on the record that everyone should believe you? Who the hell are you, Anthony?
Tubby McFatfuck?
When it's already exposed that you've been lying to me, setting me up, trying to bribe me, offer me things to shut me up? How do I know that's not the case, Anthony? Your affiliations and your credibility is what is called in order here.
So I,
Tubby McFatfuck?
with some clarity and objectivity, went, away from both parties, sat, thought about it, and realized Mad Martian's just pissed. He's pissed about a lot of things, and he's never not going to be pissed. He's just going to continue to be pissed off. I don't need pissed off people here at Scepter Radio Network. So the show that I was going to offer him, I gave it to someone else.
You see?
Tubby McFatfuck?
You said it again right there. You just slipped. You're lying to the listeners and to everyone else, painting a false picture. Because you said the deal you were offering me, I'm giving them the deal? The offer? No, that's the thing. You were trying to make a deal. You're busted, dude.
We're going to go head to head. So let's have a big round of applause. Awesome. So that's going to be fun.
That's inappropriate.
It's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, ha ha ha.
Why am I doing this? Am I being vindictive? Am I pissed off? One, yeah.
Exactly. Are you talking to me? No way, punk. And how fitting that is, as it is exactly that is what's going on. He ain't talking to me. None of them are talking to me. That's the problem here. But they want to have a say in being an effective conduit of what the truth of this case and of this matter is. Especially at that Awake and Aware, which again I say, the Asleep and Not a Clue time travel panel put on by Project Scam-Alot in April of 2013. So welcome back, people. This is Gary Leger, the Mad Martian, and I'm bringing you another special episode of the Martian Revelation of Mad Martian Attacks, The Attackers of the Truth, Part 10. You see, and people wonder why, and find it hard to understand why I sound like I'm mad. You're damn right. Listen to what you just heard, what I played before that song. Everything that's going on in regards to this, from trying to be set up, and then they got spanked, instead of me, to offer me a radio show, which again I never answered him about, and we will address that in kind. The message from him that my Hoagland problems were now becoming his, that he was getting too scared, so therefore he had to drop me. You know, we're going to get into this. But it's kind of funny, though, because how this guy,
Tubby McFatfuck,
speaking the filth from his mouth, which on the surface would appear so clean during that Awake and Aware time travel panel. It's kind of funny, though, how Anthony decided to chime in reply to Kerry about withholding names. Now, mind you, if you look at it,
try to avoid specific names when we refer to these various questions if we can. When individuals are at stake, and rather than criticize them directly, can we talk a little bit without putting their names on unless you really want to do that?
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, yes, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know. I'm just saying that just for you know it.
Kerry not wanted my name mentioned at all. She wanted to avoid it, was her exact words.
Try to avoid specific names when we refer to these various questions if we can.
And notice how Anthony jumps in. I mean, it's pretty funny what he says here. I mean, listen to this.
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, yes, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
All right, really?
Tubby McFatfuck?
Let's look at this. Because Anthony never mentioned my name. So I don't know why he went on the defensive to answer to what Kerry was really addressing, or to whom, rather, was really in reference to Hoagland. Cutting him off in his continued answer to go back to, again, reflect back on in an era of...
Again, in an era where the only way... Sean, please. In an era where...
Let me make a disclosure here. I mean, a disclaimer here, a public disclaimer.
But she wanted to step in the way and not have my name mentioned. And then Anthony, you know, goes on the golden ball defensive.
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, yes, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of funny because of his actions show and prove otherwise.
Well, guess what? We spoke for 40 minutes uninterrupted.
That ain't enough. That ain't enough. We didn't go nowhere.
Well, we're limited.
I had to talk about the history to Kerry. Look, man, let's go on. Let's go on with what she said. I'm not talking to this guy. Because here's what Kerry also said. If Hoagland decides to come forward to discuss this issue on my radio show or on a live stream event, this is where I applauded her. I will be happy to bring you on to state your case. Why? If Hoagland's a deciding factor, if he's the one hiding this shit, why are you going to leave it up to him to then decide if you want to have me on to hear the side of the story? Because he's hiding them from you. Not from me only.
All right, look, at this point, I want to have... Hey, Gary, I'm going to bring Tommy back onto the show so he can respond to your accusations about Kerry. Tommy, go ahead.
No, let Kerry come on. No,
Gary,
I want Kerry
go
on.
ahead, Tommy.
I want Kerry. Don't speak for Kerry. She already spoke for Hoagland. That other guy was speaking for them. Don't speak for Kerry. I want to talk to Kerry. Okay. I want her to tell me why, and that's all why she would not interview me. Can you get the facts, but put out a blog answering, calling basically debunking me, saying I'm being hit with scalar beam weapons, and then never mind these faces, and then making excuses for Hoagland. He's not ready to release them. That's what was okay what he did to me. Come on, man.
All right.
Camelot's way.
Okay, Gary, you're not winning you're not making any coherent points when you're not allowing others to speak. So let Tommy make his point. Then we'll get back to you. You've had 45 minutes to say...
Hey, Tommy, can you do this? Can you set up an interview to happen so my demeanor can change about it?
Gary, what are you talking about? We set up we gave you a live show on Scepter Radio Network. Let me finish my comment.
You didn't get all the facts. You still didn't get all the facts.
Let me finish my comment. Let me finish my comment. You have a freaking international audience listening to your ass right now. Okay? You've had 45 minutes to speak. We've given the links to the Dark Mission Cover-Up Lies and Calling for a New World Order article that totally backs you, that's obviously written by somebody who's siding with you and not being objective. There's no bias whatsoever in that article. Okay? So let us try to establish some objectivity by allowing Tommy Hansen to speak. Don't interrupt or I'll fucking hang up on your ass. Go, Tommy.
Thank you. What you gotta do, bro?
I'm gonna try again. Can I speak now, Gary?
Speak, please.
Yeah, Tommy.
All right, good. You see, I want to jump right into the problem here, Gary, which started off from the exact mentioning with that discussion thread with Kerry. And you know damn well I was involved in that as well, so I can speak for myself. I don't need to speak for Kerry. So here's the problem. You weren't able to present a coherent case. What you presented...
You didn't give me a chance to present it, Tom. You did not even give me a chance to present that case. So what are you talking about? How can I present it if you didn't give me a chance?
You did not present any evidence, circumstantial at best. That was what you presented. It was statement.
Oh, really? Oh, testimony by the producers. Hoagland's own words is circumstantial. The images are circumstantial. Give me a break. Give me a break, man. And you're answering for Kerry. She's the investigator, not you.
The problem is you aren't presenting your case in a way that people would be susceptible to listening to. The problem isn't Camelot or even Hoagland or Robin at this point. The problem, my friend, is you in the way you're acting towards other people. I actually...
Right. Yep, let's defend everyone. Let's defeat the messenger. Bash the messenger. That's what you're doing.
We're in the freaking media. We have to make sure everybody has their voice heard, even if
Hey, buddy, my show was the media. I was torn from my show, had it torn from me. Don't go to belittling me like I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I would never do... Listen to me, dude. I would never do what Kerry did. I would never do to any of my guests. I don't care what I thought of them. I would never make them look like they're farces.
No one has ever done. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. You are ruining your own line of reputation here, not anybody else. That's the issue. If you seem like a person that were able to come and present a case in orderly freaking fashion, which we're trying to do here on the same network as Kerry Cassidy has her show on, by the way. And you see, the situation might have been different. I actually asked my moderation...
Really? Don't lie, Tommy, because here's something you might not know. All right? This happened when? This happened when she wrote that blog, when she said these things. What year was that?
What year was that? 2011?
Thank you. And / 2012. Now get this. Since 2007, I've been trying to... And I also talked to him and, what's his name, Bill. I talked to Bill. I have emails to prove it. That I've been trying to throw this to them their way. And you know what? They were shooing it under the rug. They didn't even care about these other faces of Mars. I got that where she says that. All right? Now, you don't know what you're talking about, obviously, in my history with her. So when she wrote what she did, she already knew of me for a couple years. She could have had the chance to call me, to talk to me, to even come visit me, get my side of the story. I could show them plenty. I could show you all plenty. But what did she do? She ignored it, played it down because Hoagland and her are in bed together financially. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And look at tonight. Kerry was on the Hoagland tonight.
All right, Gary. Let them. Okay, let them respond.
No.
Let them respond, Gary. Let them respond.
Let me respond. You wanted me on. You wanted me on.
Jerry.
I'm doing the talking.
Okay, go ahead, Jerry.
You all right? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tell me.
Is your name Gary?
Jerry Avalos. Go ahead. It's your turn.
Yeah, what I'm saying, dude, no, man, I'm sorry. There's not that much money here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, now you're wasting time, making excuses for again, she knew of me before that article.
See, this is what I'm saying.
She knew of me. She knew of my attempts to talk to her about this case, and I sent lengthy emails. I corresponded both with Bill and Kerry. No, you're interrupting. I corresponded both with Bill and Kerry, okay, for a couple years before she even wrote that article. She never even talked to me or even got my side of the story. She came out bashing me and defending Hoagland, even saying that he has them, he's not ready to present them.
Other people have
What the hell is that? Then that's making excuses for him and saying it's okay for what he did to me and mine to shut me up.
Offers you
because he wasn't ready.
All right, okay, hold on, Gary. Hold on. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, once again, like I said, someone offers you insight into something you don't know. You think it's being you go in defensive mode. You think you're being attacked. It's like, no, we're trying to share sincerity with you here, bro. We're bro.
That ain't sincerity. If you were sharing sincerity, you'd be like, hey, Gary, can we talk to you about this? Can we maybe come out or have or can we have an interview so we can really figure out what's going on before you go talking to others about it? Camelot's job is to do that.
Pertinent that might help your plight, because there was something you said in one of the interviews before about asking Hoagland about being summoned to some kind of congressional hearing about selling secrets to the Russians, which I think was what you're alluding to with this whole video case. So now, see,
I didn't say that tonight. I didn't say that on the air or in his post.
But did you say it in the past, though? Did you say it in the past?
Damn right. And if you give me enough time, Anthony, I'll explain that to you. But it would be on a lot more than just one show, buddy. That was an hour-long show.
See, sorry. You should go into that. See, now, because that's something I would ask.
Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, of course I should go into it. But how about we start at the damn beginning and work our way like breadcrumbs, so each show is like an archive, so someone can paint it all together and follow it logically, instead of jumping around in what you're doing here. You're trying to make me look bad, and I don't care how I sound. You know why? Because let me tell you, because he destroyed my life. He destroyed my work, and I'm going to get it back, and I'm going to change the game. Do you understand? And I'm going to expose the liars and the frauds. And guess who's on that list?
Who?
Do you think I'm not going to be capable? Are you making a prediction I won't be capable of getting the answers and exposing certain people? Are you saying that?
Well, who's on the list?
To use against you.
Who's on the list?
Waiting.
That doesn't matter right now. They know who they are. And Hoagland knows who he is.
I love this guy.
Right.
You do? Then how about this? Instead of turning this into a farce and a debacle, we should sit down calmly, and I could show you and tell you everything. I'll even pay you to come here and do it. How about that? I'll pay you to interview me on Camelot. And there are people that'll fund her to have this. Are you willing to do that, Tommy? How much does she want to come interview me and to put on the show regardless what she thinks? But to hear the facts and let the listeners decide.
Why are you so obsessed with Camelot?
How much?
How much? If you had a good case, buddy, or presented one well, you wouldn't have to pay anything. Nobody ever does that. So,
well, it looks like I have to in this case.
I'm getting really tired. I can't even hear what you're saying. All right? So you're simply screaming. I mean, your phone's going to be broken after this if you keep this up. So please chill out.
Yeah, you're a funny guy. You're a funny guy, Tom. You know what? Maybe when I see you at the conference, you could talk to my face about that, huh?
Oh, it would be
I'll be looking for you, buddy. I'll be looking for you, and then we'll see how brave you are as just talking. And let's see if you give me a year or not, because I will have a year, whether it's with you or someone else. But let me tell you this. My future's secured. My future's going to be secured, and when I expose this and expose you liars and you frauds and asking for money from people, they're hard-earned money, which today's times are tough, all right? To get truth, that ain't really truth. All right? Something's wrong there. And I have the balls to stand up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? I dare you. I dare you. Just like I'm daring Hoagland now. He probably hears this now. Hoagland, I'm not done with you. And I'm closing in on you from 3 different angles, buddy. You know what? That prediction of your chest being cracked open is going to happen soon. And hundreds will appear at your funeral, buddy. Why? Because you couldn't do the right thing. You couldn't tell the truth.
Look, is this about a personal vendetta against Hoagland because of the Dr. Robin thing, trying to have you committed, and you believing that he made you homeless?
It was both of them. Don't make excuses. It was for both of them. Both of them did it.
Well, let's get to the bottom of this. Is this about a personal vendetta?
Let's get to the bottom of
Is
it.
this
That's
about
what I've been trying to do.
Is this about a personal
vendetta? I've been trying to get to the bottom of
vendetta?
this, Anthony, for 7 years. Almost 7 years I've been trying to get to the bottom of it.
Gary, let me ask you a question.
Only at the end of 2011 did it become noticed.
Is this about a personal vendetta because you feel he made you homeless, tried to have you committed, and tried to get you divorced? Or is this because there's images on Mars that you feel he's concealing?
All the above, buddy. You weren't the one affected. You weren't the one affected or set up. So don't stand there in judgment of me, man.
I'm not.
You have your show.
Hey, I only found out about all of this tonight. Okay, I never heard about any of this before tonight. I'm giving you a platform.
Well, you know, well, hey, Miss Cassidy, where the hell are you? I'll pay you to come do the thing that you should do, that you do for everybody else. When you claim you're out for the truth, I'll pay you, and so will others. I was told already, for you to come interview me. I'll show you the proof. We'll have it on video, okay, like she did for that stupid kid in Russia. And it'll be done cheaper. And all you people, I promise, a show that you will never forget, and it'll probably be one of their best ones. Because I'm telling you right now, we got a case and a conspiracy about someone who's leading the truth movement, who's not of the truth. He's steering you because he's on his dark mission, and the light that's behind the scenes can be seen if you're smart enough or intelligent enough to get behind his words. I'm not the fool here. That's why I'm going to win, and that's why I'm going to expose all you frauds. You understand me? You had your chance, and you have your chance right now openly. How much, Kerry, to come interview me and do what your job suggests all these years that you've been doing for people and asking their money for? How much? How much?
But that's not how Camelot operates to begin with.
And then,
that's not how Gary. That's not how Camelot.
Here we go. Really? No shit. No shit. I gotta pay her to convince her to interview something that she should have interviewed years ago.
It's not going to happen because you say that.
Oh, of course not. Because we're in bed together. She's afraid to publicly confront Hoagland. She's afraid to publicly confront Hoagland because he knows he can't answer it. And therefore she helps bring him down. And if she does that, he will no longer be on her shows. She will not even be able to go to any of his conferences if she does that. So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Yeah, wrong. Yeah, it's easy for you. You're affiliated with her. Don't fucking lie to me. Who the hell are you?
Dude, you know
I'm the one here. Look, we got a conspiracy and the greatest cover-up of the last century. Do you understand what other faces of Mars represents, any of you? Never mind Kerry Seag right now. Do you know what other faces of Mars represent for the public? What do other... Anthony.
What?
Anthony. What do you think other faces of Mars represent?
What do you mean? Like, do you want to know the actual astral theology, or are we just talking about the implications? You gotta be a little more specific here, dude. You're an advanced crowd.
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
What do you think other faces of Mars represent?
What do you mean? Like, do you want to know the actual astral theology, or are we just talking about the implications? You gotta be a little more specific here, dude. You're an advanced crowd.
That what?
I said you have to be a little more specific. Are we just talking implications, or are we talking astrotheology here? Be a little more specific, please.
What would other faces of Mars, especially images never seen by the public before of other faces of Mars, what would that represent?
It would represent, obviously, evidence of past civilizations on Mars. Why would Richard C. Hoagland? Why would Richard C. Hoagland try to?
That's not it. Hold on. That's the tamale question, ain't it? And we'll answer that. But here, what do those faces represent?
Well, I just told you what I thought they represent. What do you think they represent?
Is that the only thing you think it represents? The main face of Cydonia and the pyramids acknowledge that. Gee.
Evidence of past civilizations on Mars. Beyond that, what?
That's being hidden from you all because they have a policy in place for years, which Richard had to sign off of. Of what? Of what you want to know?
Yes, tell us.
That the face is not alone. Never mind, we're not alone. The face is not alone. It's not a mere trick of light and shadow and all. Because these other images represent other features that coincidentally look like the same damn structure, not the same likeness, but the same characteristics, same constructive style, and even sizes and smaller, but the same characteristics of designing that the face of Cydonia has. Now, that wouldn't be a mere trick or coincidence at all anymore, would it? It would demand a lot more questions by the public if it came to the public's attention back then.
But why would Richard C. Hoagland try to hide that information?
Come on, Dick. Come on, Hoagland. Come on, Dick Hoagland. Come on the air and answer it.
He's not on the air. He's not on the air. It's just you and me.
Not. You want me to do what Kerry's doing to answer for him, but here's my gist. Okay? You want to know what my opinion is. Okay, because I'm on the hunt yet to find that reason for him. Soon I will need him. But right now I do. So do you. Why? Because he signed off and he cannot talk about it. He's not supposed to acknowledge the ruins of air, let alone he had access to these other images the public's never seen. And that would blow his credibility all these years. Why? Because he's never showed them to us. He's never hinted about them to us. And I'm the bad guy? Bullshit. Right. He set me up. He encouraged the investigation to begin with. You all know that. I have the proof. Look under the videos, under the comment on my Facebook.
All right.
His own words.
All right. I think we're done here. I think what we're going to do now is...
Anthony, we're not done, but I think we should have more shows without these guys on so I can go step by step.
All right, well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, well, let me, what I need to do at this point is, I need to defer to those guys and because you're not letting them speak. You're not letting these guys say a word. Every time they try...
What are they saying? What are they saying? All they're trying to do is attack me. Oh, I'm this or I'm that, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
All right, so you made your point.
No, wait. They're never given the reason why Kerry ain't doing her job, especially with a case like this. Other faces of Mars. Never mind who it leads to. Okay? Right. Never mind that. I would shot this shit too. This is about other faces of Mars images the public needs and demands, and we should have them. Do you agree we should have these images, especially if they were secret? Do you think we have a right to see them? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, of course we do. But
thank you. Let's end on that point. We have a right to see those images. And now let's say if you had a way to see them, Anthony or anyone else, and you had a way, and then all of a sudden, when you were encouraged, let's say you guys were encouraged to find them, and you did. Let's say you did, right? Now I want to release them. You want to release them. Then you're threatened. What do you do? What do you do?
What?
Well, the pictures are there. They're on your Facebook.
Yeah, they're on your Facebook, so you kind of did release them. Good job. And plus, I just want to know more.
What do you do if you... Never mind Facebook. Let's say you have access to something or could have access to something, and it leads to someone you know that has them. And that person does everything to not answer about it, does everything to set you up.
All right. Hey, Gary, listen, Gary, hold on.
Wait.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. Because...
I'm not letting you know now. If Kerry doesn't do the right thing, I'm going to expose them, and I'm going to keep attacking. Now you're on the record defending not to investigate what demands investigation. Especially with Hoagland. He was just on your show tonight, damn it. And not one of you had the balls to ask him about a 22-minute video.
Did you listen to the show? Did you watch the show?
Oh, fuck no. You think I'm going to give you guys my fucking money? You're crazy.
All right, get the fuck out of here, then. I just hung up on him. I had enough of him. Yeah. I can't hear him anymore. So
we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
Well, at this point, what I'd like to do is bring in our calm professional resident expert Stephen D. Kelly to try and help us break down in the manner, and it's sort of like Dr. Phil does. Let's break down what just happened, because honestly, I don't know what just happened. I don't. Stephen D. Kelly, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, help us break down. Look, I don't want to denigrate, Gary, in any sense of the word, because obviously, he's very passionate about this, but he's going about it in the wrong way.
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present.
Yes.
And we don't make any judgments against them.
He's trying to, he's making these threats. He's making these, threats of, physical violence.
You lying,
Tubby McFatfuck.
And he's going to attack this person, and he is convinced that Richard C. Hoagland, tried to make him homeless, tried to have him committed, tried to, ruin his marriage. And look, he's calling me a dick on Facebook. Fine, I don't know what I did other than try to give him a platform. Look, we let him speak. We let him speak for an hour and 10 minutes. And he didn't make any sense. You guys with me?
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present.
Yes.
And we don't make any judgments against them.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, definitely. That's why I just jumped in and was like, okay, you're gonna go round and round and round, dude. You're wasting our time. It's like he assumes everyone's stupid, but I'm sorry. I think most of us have intelligence quotas that are much higher.
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present.
Yes.
And we don't make any judgments against them.
Yeah, unbiased and non-judgmental.
And yeah, I do empathize with his plight, man, because there are some shady doings going on there. Because I really would want to know if it's just a crazy allegation about this congressional summons about Hoagland giving information to the Russians. If that's true, and that's the reason why he was paraded in this video, as the implication was in prior interviews, I want to know that too. And yeah, that's something I'll ask Richard face to face if I get a chance. Because yes, I do have the balls to do that. Because yeah, I want to know the truth. And it's like, yeah, you know what? We don't always have to agree with all of our friends either. And I'm not even saying I'm friends with Hoagland. I don't even know the guy.
You say you want to know the truth, but yet you're skirting away from the issue at hand of what this is about. Secret faces of Mars. Images kept from the public. Not in any NASA public archives, Viking or otherwise. That Hoagland provided, and is evidence given by testimony by the producers themselves. And you're worried about just something you heard about the Russians? And Hoagland's connection to them and images? No, let's focus at hand. UFO Diaries. Richard Hoagland withholding images. Kerry Cassidy helping him suppress and aiding and abetting his cover-up. Don't steer it in another direction or try to play it like that's what it is, because that's not it at all at what you're trying to describe. This has many more implications than the limitation you're putting on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never met Hoagland, but I'm willing to go up to him and say, hey, there's this guy out there who's making claims, about a video, that's circulating, from 1993, these UFO diaries that has, that has images that you're trying to suppress. I want to see those images. Mad Martian, Gary Leger, post those images at your Facebook page. Let's see those images that you're talking about. Put up the video of that documentary, the whole thing. And, put it up there at your Facebook, facebook.com/mad.martian.69, not just part of it, the whole thing. So that people can, analyze, the images, for themselves and determine, are there additional, images of landmarks that are being suppressed? And why would Richard C. Hoagland try to suppress images on Mars? Right. I thought the whole point of his career was to find these images and share them with everybody.
Anthony, a couple of things, actually. First we want to bring up, excellent point when it comes to the video. Why not just release it if you have it? I mean, put it on YouTube, put it anywhere or everywhere. Just get it up there.
Boy, you guys are fucking slow and stupid.
I said a bad word one time. Daddy punished me for it.
That's a great story. I felt like I was there.
You see, this is what I mean, Tommy. You had no idea even that the video was up online. It's been up for years. So who you bullshitting and what you're trying to reason out and what you did to me on that show with Anthony there, okay? So what is it that's making you not really want to address this? Come on.
And secondly, I was looking through the pictures, and I'll grant that, yeah, there's some interesting pictures there. I can't say if they're fake or not. I mean, they could be.
Well, Georgia. Yeah? So, how would you tell if they're fake or not? You would need an investigation first, right? Smart guy.
But I had some interesting observations while browsing them, because, you know, when I looked at the faces on Mars, you know, you have to consider different angles, the fact that the distance is very, you know, far away, and there's different orbital, or basically like satellites, in essence, taking the pictures.
You know what? You don't know what you're talking about, so stop trying to answer them for it. You still need an investigation to get those actual images. They're in Hoagland's fucking hands. Stop pretending.
So, but on one picture in particular, which was a close-up, part of the picture was cropped out, so I couldn't find the reference point I was looking for to separate if this was a second face or on Mars, or if it were the same one from a different angle, you know. So that's stuff that makes me immediately question it, you know, or anyone should question it when things gets cropped out. That's what NASA does, you know. That's why we question that. So
again, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean no reference point? First off, I showed 3 different damn faces that video's given us. You're trying to play these images down, and you're failing successfully. Because what you're trying to do is to steer the public, to steer the listeners listening to your squirrely voice, saying, hey, oh yeah, these images, oh, everyone should question it. Therefore, they shouldn't even go bother checking them out. Then why don't you tell them that I give them 3 different faces, and each one you can see the face of Cydonia in one image. There's your reference point, okay? And then you can compare them to the other ones, and you can clearly see none of them are that face in Cydonia, because they all share different features than the one that we know that they reference for us of that Viking image of the face of Cydonia. So again, what is your true intent in this? It's obvious. Because right now your foot's in your mouth because you were trying to defend Kerry, right? And saying that you could speak for yourself because you were a part of it. Exactly. And now you're exposed because now your admittance and plain sheer stupidity admitting right now you stated you didn't see the video, okay? It's been up for years, so that tells me you didn't do your homework. You didn't even watch the video. You didn't know what these images of these faces were that were being talked about, but yet you're defending Kerry and attacking me, and took part in with that attack blog in 2011 stated that I'm being hit by beam weapons. Slandering me, right? So who looks like the fool now, punk?
Then, second point. Okay, so say Hoagland has information that he's holding back. I mean, really, guys, come on. Anthony, I know you know all too well how it is in certain situations where you're sitting on information.
Oh, didn't you just nail that on the fucking head? Oh, yes, he knows all too well, don't you, Anthony? How it is. Especially by what you went through, and the threats, and then getting to reach around. You and me are not done.
And for whatever reason, you're being threatened, or, you know, something happens. There can be a multitude of reasons why certain things don't come out.
Boy, again, you sound like a rocket scientist, Tommy. There could be a ton of reasons why something don't come out. So doesn't it make you, as being a major affiliate of Project Scam-Alot, want to ask questions about that? Never mind trying to figure out a way to play it down and then giving excuses not to ask, especially when you're trying to pretend that you're contemplating about it and making a fool out of yourself because you don't know what you're talking about. You're just trying to aid and abet the cover-up. You're exposed. See how this code down through time works? I told you it would be used against you.
Right. There's no dictionary answer to why. You know, it's not truth or lie. Sometimes it's a matter of staying alive, too.
And what makes you such a professional at determining the factor if it's not a truth or lie? What investigation have you done to make that conclusion to try to steer the people away from interest of this case? Because again, you're failing miserably. And I'm showing you what an ass you made of yourself that night. And you know what? Your foot's in your mouth, and I told you it would be.
You know, So you can't just assume, like he does, that he is this grand master of evil dark schemes, or dark mission, as he says. You see, there's no coherency whatsoever in what he's saying.
Huh, coming from a schmuck who can't even tell the truth. He's pretending to be somebody he's not. He doesn't even know about Mars. He's not a Mars researcher. He's not an image analyst. He has no place to say anything. He's trying to defend Kerry and answer for them, to legitimize what Kerry is doing, has done, and is still currently doing, avoiding mentioning my name or about this case.
Try to avoid specific names when we refer to these various questions if we can. And I just want to protect everyone here.
Hey, it's their own words. I'm just putting the pieces where they fit. And you got some damn nerve, man, telling me there's no coherency in what I'm saying? What about what I'm laying out in all these parts now, to where now you're being addressed? You expected an immediate reply, didn't you? Time's on my side in this, and I'm going about this slowly for people to follow along, so that they can see what Hoagland really wants us to see behind the surface, and what I'm seeing, and what I'm showing to where his panel answer makes sense. You, however, do not make sense. You're the one who's incoherent. You're trying to explain these images that people should question it because, based on what? Because of the angle and the satellites taken? No shit, satellites are taking them. You're trying to describe something you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to describe what you're talking about because you do not do what I do. Therefore, the foot's in your mouth, and you're exposed as, again, for trying to steer this in the wrong direction. That was your true intent. You're trying to look like you're innocent.
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know, I'm just saying that just for, you know, it...
But you're guilty.
Which is why I took issue with this from the first.
Yeah, I'm wondering, when he went on Michael Vara's show, you know, was he just as incoherent, as belligerent as he was tonight on our show?
I've heard him on other shows, and he still gets pissed off like that, but it was like he wasn't as bad. Because like I said, he had some interesting points there to where, I mean, Tommy and I were even discussing this earlier, where in a lot of ways I seem very defensive for him because of certain things that were brought up, and I'm like, yeah, those are some questions that are legitimate, and if Richard doesn't seem to want to answer them. And because I went looking for his answers too. And I'm like, why doesn't he just address this? It's even this whole like, I don't even want to justify that with an answer. Dude, no problem. It's like, someone says Jerry's a flying toaster. I have no problem saying, you know what? I'm not a flying toaster. It's okay. So I don't buy that shit with like, oh, I don't want to justify it. No, just say it. Just say no. I didn't. I was never summoned by a congressional hearing for giving information to the Russians.
I agree.
What's so hard about that?
That's a good point, Jerry.
Boy, it's obvious I was on the Tom and Jerry show that night, huh? The Tom and Jerry cartoons. You tried to make it out as if I was the one that's Looney Tunes. And that's far from the truth. Also to mention again, you're not getting it. I had already explained it. You didn't want to accept it. You're trying to twist it around and saying it's about something about dealing with a congressional hearing about that with the Soviets. Get off that, alright? This is about images here that the public's never seen. So again, Tom and Jerry, this wasn't your cartoon. This wasn't your show. You tried to make it your show, and Anthony was giving it to you. It was you guys, I believe, who asked Anthony to press me to be on his show. He didn't have to press me. He asked and I answered. But it was you guys, since you guys hopped on at the end of those posts, that really, when Anthony came out and asked a question for me to be on. So it was your show. So tell me that Kerry was not involved, or that you were not there to benefit her, possibly on her behalf, telling you go for it, thinking like you could do anything about me or this case.
Down through time.
Prove me wrong.
So that's what I'm saying. So this guy, he's tripping. That's why I told him on Facebook, I'm like, dude, we're not your enemies. You're just trying to make more.
Yes, apparently you are enemies. Okay? Jerry there, you know what? You seem to have a little bit of hairs growing on those balls back there a minute ago. Why won't he want to answer it? Well, then ask him about UFO Diaries first. Let's start out there with the basics. Start out with the basics of whether he first encouraged investigation 7 years ago. Ask him about UFO Diaries, why the producers said that they were his, that he produced them, that he still has them. Why he is avoiding being on the record to answer about them? Why won't he answer? Why did he set me up? Go ahead, keep asking him. Maybe he'll set you up. Come on. That's a good way to find out the veracity of my words. Grow a pair.
And so it's like that's all he's doing.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll say this: when it comes down to it, my issue is obviously not with the information. My issue is actually personal in the way he addresses it.
What, you don't like it that I'm in your face about it? Then you should have shut your trap to begin with and should not have aided Kerry Cassidy there in that hit piece.
So yeah, for me, this is personal. I mean, he's attacking me, he's attacking Camelot, he's attacking us. Pretty much all of us, under one fucking comb at the same time.
I mean, he called me a pussy. He said I have no balls. He said fuck you to me, fuck you to you. I mean, he just said right now, fuck you, Tommy, on Facebook. It's like, how can we take him seriously when, he's, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You weren't trying to take me seriously. Your intent was not to take me or this case seriously. It was to try to spank me and play me down and try to destroy this case as if you could. You have no knowledge of the case whatsoever, nor Tommy nor Jerry there. Though Jerry, I think, has a little more hair on his nuts than maybe even both of you. In time, that will be determined. I got my eye on them. We'll see if they have balls, what it really takes to be what they claim that they want to be, to get your money, to get your attention and affections, and your belief in them. Do the right thing. Investigate. I am not asking too much. This ain't about the person, or an attitude, or the way I'm presenting. You're damn right I'm attacking you all under one fucking comb. Using your exact words. You're the one that started this. You wanted to jump in the fray and get the attention because of your affiliation with that Dick Hoagland, and now Dr. Robin. Choosing sides. Truth be damned, but yet you want the people's money. I find that hilarious.
Let's try to avoid specific names when we refer to these various questions if we can. And I just want to protect everyone here.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he realizes, and it's just no one's taking him seriously because of this crap.
Yes, how true your words are. No one's taking me seriously because of this crap. And that's what you're trying to steer your audience that listen to you jerks day in and day out, or whenever you're on. They're listening to crap. Your crap. You're the one trying to steer this away. You're the one trying to make me and make this look bad because of your affiliations and the fact that you guys just got punked and spanked because you guys were trying to punk and spank me. It backfired. Now you're going to have to address it because now I'm picking a fight with you. It's a righteous fight because you stepped into the court of this public opinion where Hoagland is the one that needs to be on the record here, not you.
And it's like, yeah.
Look, you know what? I gave him a platform tonight. I let him speak for an hour and 10 minutes. We were, barely able to get a sentence in edgewise.
Because you guys are dicks. What else can I say? I'm going to say it straight out. You tried to play me and punk me and tried to steer it along. You weren't interested in this case again. All right? Stop lying.
And, he had he had an hour and 10 minutes, man. If you can't fucking, like he said, established, a trail of breadcrumbs in an hour and 10 minutes, I just don't know if it's possible, dude. Because I couldn't understand.
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present.
Yes.
And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know. I'm just saying that just for
I still don't get the gist of what the major, crux of his story is. I mean.
Well, fat boy, if you didn't do what you and your Tom and Jerry characters there were trying to do, you would have figured that out. And I did tell you what it is about. So again, it shows you're not paying attention throughout the whole show. You were just waiting for those clowns to come on. Because I told you, it's about those Faces of Mars images. Hoagland provided them to the set to be used. He was supposed to be filmed on the set, but didn't. So then he was warned to prepare for in the future that someone would come investigating and would help discover him. So then his photo would indeed be seen, photographed in connection with those images. Do you get it? I mean, stop lying.
I tried to ask him, is it a personal vendetta against Hoagland because you feel he did things, to you on a personal level, or is it about the fact that he's suppressing images from Mars? I don't get it. I just don't get which it is.
Well, then it shows that you're not too swift, okay? Because it's obvious. Both, okay? Both. How hard is that to figure out? I mean, come on. You must really be stupid, man. But yet you want everyone to follow you and believe you about what you're trying to talk shit about me? Give me a break.
And there's also a difference between suppressing and not releasing.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Oh, there again, George. A difference between suppressing and not releasing. Really? Well, not releasing would include, I think, a factor of not setting up others, not trying to destroy their families and their lives and their work and their livelihoods. It becomes suppressing when those things are done. Okay? So, again, you're trying to now make excuses for Hoagland like it's an okay thing that he's not releasing these images. But you're ignoring the shit done to me and mine of why he's not releasing them. Okay? So, again, how can you make that sound righteous?
Yeah, like you got done illustrating in terms of why information can't be released.
And now, I guess, for having given him an hour and 10, not to mention, it's been over, 205 back and forth messages on a single thread with him all night long. I mean, I literally asked him earlier this evening, and I said, give me let me look for what I said to him exactly, because it's so important, because I know that I got to the point, and I was very, succinct in how I presented it to him. And I pretty much said, let's see, I'm looking for it here. I asked him, I said, I'm asking you to tell me what the most serious of charges against Hoagland are. And he still couldn't. I mean, then the next thing he said was con artist, liar, fraud, secret operative, setting up me and my family and this. And I was like, okay, well, tell me what it's about.
Man, I gotta tell you, you are either playing dumb or you are really stupid.
And, and now he just said I suck balls, and now he said do the right thing, Kerry, and I know you see this bitch, and it's like, okay, well, that type of attitude, you're not going to get any assistance from me.
Again,
Tubby McFatfuck?
You're lying again, because the very next day or two after this show you did with me, you were asking me, trying to bribe me with that golden carrot, remember, thinking that I was a jackass, that I would want to bite it and follow your attempted bribe to offer me my radio show on your network, to give me my platform. So stop lying.
Yeah, I'm trying to pay or bribe whatever Camelot to do an interview? I mean, come on.
Because everyone will say, oh, Kerry only interviews people that pay her. See, that goes the other way. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, people out there, if you're listening to this live, archive doesn't matter.
You're damn right, and you showed that all the more because now you're coming up to make an excuse for it.
Let me tell you this. Nobody ever has to pay to be interviewed by Camelot. It's never, ever been the case. The closest thing would be... Actually, no, you know what? I think we would accept a plane ticket to interview someone, but no direct payment. I think a plane ticket would be as far as we would be willing to go in terms of doing an interview.
Yeah, only because we can't afford it.
Exactly, my point. Only because we can't afford it.
You're full of shit. You're full of shit, but okay. You make that happen, I'll pay for the plane tickets. Come on. Let's do this.
I mean, since you all already listened to this crazy rant, sorry, but that's how I feel. And he's calling himself Mad Martian, so I feel I'm excused to say that.
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
Anyways, you should know I'm actually living in Jerry's garage.
Yeah, that's awesome. My little pet Tommy.
Hey, I don't know what that has to do with anything here about this case. If you want to make yourself out to be a couple of fags, more power to you.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say poor me that I'm suffering. No, honestly, I'm not. I'm not suffering. I'm super grateful, and we're doing a lot of work here.
So then why do you feel like you have to explain yourself? To try to undig yourself from the wrong position that you took and that you're supporting of the one you serve, Miss Kerry Cassidy.
No money. The way he's making it sound is that, Kerry picks you up every morning in a fucking limousine, and you guys are flying off to Russia and Africa to fucking videotape people playing video games.
Yeah, like,
who claim to be from fucking Venus.
Yeah, what about the fact that she spent her entire inheritance, doing the first, I guess, almost 3 years of Camelot, traveling and producing interviews.
People and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, is there a moral issue in that, really? I think that's pretty damn admirable.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trying to make her sound like she's such an angel. She's so gifted. She's floating around like a feather. Follow me. Follow me. And many of you do. And pay her. And it would be admirable. However, she dropped that ball when it came to investigating a case for which she stepped out and tried to answer for
Dick
Hoagland.
To the one that needs the answer, who started and encouraged this investigation to begin with.
Dick
Hoagland.
And yet, she does not get the side and the story from me to present to you all, so that it's by her conclusions in her blog to be validated after going after all of my data I would present, so that she would come up with that conclusion. She would obviously have to debunk me, right? But she knows she can't. And she won't. She doesn't even want my name mentioned. So, yeah, it is an issue. It is a moral issue. Because of what they're about now. That isn't what they're about then, when they started Camelot. Remember, that's when Hoagland in that time frame and then got together and he planted his seeds. He gave the reach around, financially, beneficially for both of them. And it worked out great for Hoagland. So prove me wrong.
Hey, Steve, where are you, dude?
Yeah,
Steve.
We need some.
Yeah, Steven, it's time for you to jump in. Let's hear your opinion. Give us like one of those. What's the name of that guy that had a show? Jerry Springer at the end of the show, how he does a summary. Give us a Stephen D. Kelly summary. Come on, Stephen, where are you? I see your face.
I think he passed out from all the excitement.
I think he passed out.
Nah, he's just wondering, and who he's talking to, about what he's going to say. About possibly what he's told what to say.
Well, ultimately, what's going on here is that,
You guys are trying to cover up the truth. You're avoiding investigation, and you tore down the show archives we were on to discuss this with your audience. You're suppressing this, helping Hoagland suppressing those images from your audience. Point blank.
Gary is very upset. That's obvious. And he's very passionate about, exacting... He's very passionate about exacting revenge on Richard C. Hoagland.
Damn how you are trying to twist things.
Tubby McFatfuck?
That's not what this is all about. You are trying to make it and paint it that way because that's what they want you to paint to the audience, which is the case. But you're lying. Prove me wrong.
And I think that there's...
All right, let me get in here, Anthony.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me dive in here. Okay, first of all, my perspective is this whole issue that he's so frothing at the mouth at, to me, it's extremely insignificant.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Steven. You're that slimy-looking guy, man, that was making those smirky, slimy faces when Anthony was bringing this question up. Oh, and he gone and done it. And then afterward, after Hoagland's done answering, you're like shaking your head, looking at him like, yeah, like you told him. So tell me how that was insignificant. You didn't think that would be seen? Huh? Though it cuts half your head off, but you're seeing, making those faces, alluding your support to, yeah, he just told me. Really? I don't even know you. You don't know me, and you're going to tell me and tell everyone else that I'm not significant? That this is all insignificant? Based on what data? What research? What proof? If you haven't gotten the story from me that Camelot should have done, show by show, piece by piece, to put together for you all to determine the proof and the veracity of my words, let alone everything I have to show, to lay out for the validity in my quest and pursuit to have an investigation solved. So tell me how you're significant to this investigation, since you're saying it's not significant or I'm not significant, Stephen. What proof do you have to debunk this all? Were you able to get an interview with Richard about his side that, well, apparently you think would debunk this? I question your integrity, Stephen. I question your intent, your purposes in stepping in now. Especially since you also were at that panel table. Again, I already mentioned about your place that I noticed. So please, what is the data to prove that my case is insignificant? That this whole issue being addressed, that even you at that panel had the opportunity, Stephen, to ask about UFO diaries and specifically mention the Faces of Mars images, not just some images that some gentleman claims, like Anthony said about me, that who used to work for Hoagland in the past, that claims Hoagland's suppressing images. How come you didn't step up? You look like you want to have balls. So how come you didn't have a pair that day? No, instead you slunk on the side of Anthony, making your squirrely faces. And yet now you have a pair on this show. Before that panel answer, now mind you, all this was going on. I'm playing clips from that show because it lays out the pattern and the path that led up to Anthony's inconsistency and the integrity of his words.
We're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
Since being in the form now in the public court, since he put his foot in like Kerry Cassidy did, on the record.
Can we talk a little bit without putting their names on unless you really want to do that?
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, yes, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know, I'm just saying that just...
And then for him to say what he said. And then looking at the data. Follow the data. Use your own determinations. Stephen, you're in the same boat. You stepped into place here. Now to act as if you could explain about this case that you have no idea what it is about. Or that you have ignored and helped them to not address this issue. Where is your place in this? You're not my friend. But apparently by stating my insignificance in this, and this case is insignificant, you're obviously a foe. That's what it boils down to here, alright? Stephen, Anthony, Tom and Jerry, credibility.
You know, my perspective is this whole issue that he's so frothing at the mouth at, to me, it's extremely insignificant. Okay, there's other faces on Mars. There's also tubes on Mars. There's also all kinds of structures going on. I mean, come on. It's like we all know there's all kinds of stuff going on Mars. Why is he so, this is not about that. This is obviously more than that. This is his ego. He apparently he thought he was capable of having a radio show. If you listen to his voice, there's no way I could possibly listen to his voice. It was painful to my ear. There's no way that I would want to ever listen to that radio program.
What a fucking weasel.
I can't imagine what his voice sounds like in a normal tone. You know, my perspective is this whole issue that he's so frothing at the mouth at, to me, it's extremely insignificant. Okay, there's other faces on Mars. There's also tubes on Mars. There's also all kinds of structures going on. I mean, come on. It's like we all know there's all kinds of stuff going on Mars.
You know, I am betting for a 100% win that you don't know shit.
Why is he so, this is not about that. This is obviously more than that. This is his ego. He apparently he thought he was capable of having a radio show. If you listen to his voice, there's no way I could possibly listen to his voice. It was painful to my ear. There's no way that I would want to ever listen to that radio program. I can't imagine what his voice sounds like in a normal tone.
Oh man, look at you now, trying to play down these faces and the importance of them by talking about tubes on Mars and other stuff. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Who do you think you're talking to, boy? You're trying to slander me in front of all your fucking listeners there, okay? Now you're wondering. Everyone else wonders why I'm fucking mad? Because a dick's like you. Yeah, I said you're a dick. What are you going to do about it, Steven? Okay? Because what you're doing is not only inflammatory, it's defamation of character. Because I'm going to paint out what you're saying and where you're going to lead your little answer now. Okay? Of what you're trying to do. You're trying to placate everyone and know that I put the whammy on your buddies there and made you guys look bad and exposed you guys for the frauds you are because you guys want this covered up. Now you're trying to play down the importance of this. Not only that I'm insignificant, but that these faces are insignificant, comparing them to the tubes and other things, to where none of them has the merit or capability of having the importance attached to them, especially if you're a quote-unquote serious Mars researcher, which you are not, Stephen. So stop playing the people as if like you're in a position like you know what the fuck you're talking about, because you don't. This is getting a little old with you people thinking noses in the air that you guys, because you're there getting the people's money, you can okay with it, fuck everybody over out of their money when you know something's wrong and you're helping to support them that are helping put money in your pocket to get, or whatever, or even just to give you attention. Like Tom and Jerry there seem to be doing by kissing Kerry's ass, by thinking that they could set me up on the show, which they started this all. This whole thing started really with them. Anthony was replying to my post. Yeah, I replied to his thing about buy your ticket in. We went over that in previous parts. Yeah, I'm not going to give them my fucking money. They're ripping everyone off. But he led me on. You heard him himself with over 254 messages leading up to this show, this event, to where it is ridiculous and shows quite clear enough what he said on that panel was not only deception, it was an outright lie and an insult to all your intelligence.
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know, I'm just saying that.
Yeah. And they're trying to placate you all by making them think that they are the shit, that they are the ones you bow down to and go for the truth, when obviously they're all helping cover up this truth. That's why I'm mad. Look what Steven's saying here.
You know, my perspective is this whole issue that he's so frothing at the mouth at, to me, it's extremely insignificant. Okay, there's other faces on Mars. There's also tubes on Mars. There's also all kinds of structures going on. I mean, come on. It's like we all know there's all kinds of stuff going on Mars. Why is he so, this is not about that. This is obviously more than that. This is his ego. He apparently he thought he was capable of having a radio show. If you listen to his voice, there's no way I could possibly listen to his voice. It was painful to my ear. There's no way that I would want to ever listen to that radio program. I can't imagine what his voice sounds like in a normal tone.
Under what background does he have? And I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about experience in his work. I have no college experience that gives me the degrees, quote unquote, in the research and the work that I do and that I'm learning of in this invisible college with this code down through time, which is, my stick in this fight. To unofficially bring you the truth that the light behind the surface wants to bring forth, but the dark covering that light not wants it out. He's at war with himself. We're breaking down his answer. It's making sense. And you're being fitted into where I can address you and each one of you. Like what Jerry said earlier. I'm attacking you all under one fucking comb. Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
But beyond that, he's irrelevant, and he's trying to be irrelevant. He's trying to be relevant. And he's trying to exact some sort of revenge on Richard Hoagland.
Once again, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
He doesn't realize that we are waiting for him, and he's making all these threats, and it's like these are essentially terrorist threats.
Man, you are such a pussy. Is that a terrorist threat too? Me calling you a pussy? And I didn't make no terrorist threats. Why? Because I stated that I was going to be in your face? Gee, where was the threat? What's the terrorist threat of me saying I'm going to be in your face? Huh? Did I say I'm going to punch you in the face? Did I say I'm going to bust your face apart? So where are you coming up with this shit? You're quite a manipulator.
And I would say he's gotten pretty close to breaking the law tonight.
Wow. I was close to breaking the law that night, huh, pussy? For what? For exposing Kerry Cassidy? And for spanking your boyfriends there? Who thought that they were going to be spanking me? Who set me up to be on that show? Who it was them that also took it upon the initiative to bring that issue to the panel, which you've shown your disdain of when Anthony did that. So you're exposed.
And if he was a man, first of all, he would have his photograph on Facebook. He'd have his face up there. Let's have it take a peek at his face so we see him coming.
Really, dickhead? Did you see me coming when my presence was there at that panel, Answer? I think not.
But either way, if he does show up at the conference, we will certainly be looking for him.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Stephen. You're trying to pretend that you got balls again.
But either way, if he does show up at the conference, we will certainly be looking for him.
Who's the one making the threat of physical violence? That's how I interpret that. Boy, though you didn't say that. So would I be wrong in saying that what you just said was a terrorist threat? But it was surely implying a threat. But that would be funny coming from a pussy. Ha 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 ha!
Yeah, Gary, why don't you put a fucking picture of yourself at your Facebook page? You know, I don't see, you know, I see a picture of a cartoon or something, but put a picture of yourself so that we know who to look for when you do come to the conference and meet us face to face.
Again, coming from the mouth of a pussy.
No, I know that.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't turn my back on this guy, but, you know, for a second. That's I'm going to say it straight out. I seriously wouldn't.
No, I know that.
You got a brain of sense. Why? Because just like at that panel, you didn't see me coming. But my presence was indeed there.
But I just think it's, you know, hey, if you're going to, you know, have the balls to come onto my Facebook page and, you know, call me, you know, Jesus, the things he said. He called me a pussy. He said that I suck balls. He says that I'm a dick. He says that, it just goes on and on and on. And, you know, not to mention he says that I was unprofessional and not being a good show host. I gave him an hour and 10 minutes to tell us what his argument was and what were these serious charges against Hoagland that he claims to have. And he didn't do anything. He just ranted. He just ranted.
His words are directly in the heart of this issue of Hoagland's coded answer. So was Kerry's. She applied herself to the poisonous gas of the atmosphere, which would be the carbon dioxide coming out of their mouths as they speak. Therefore, the things that they say, whether it's scripted, apparently, or not, because this issue falls within the script, therefore any answers they give in trying to answer about this or not, it's still on the record. Therefore, their foot's in their mouths because of the things that they already said over time and have stated publicly in the court of public opinion in defense of Hoagland, and not wanting to investigate or to interview me to get the story for all you listeners out there, especially those that pay them to bring you the truth. Are you happy with that? Are you happy paying for something that demands investigation and you can see outright her outright frustration that she needs to protect you?
And I just want to protect everyone here.
From hearing my name and therefore speaking about this case as if she's living in fear?
And I just want to protect everyone here.
And she thinks that you guys don't know your ass is from your elbow, so she has to take it upon herself saying right there and then, yes, you guys paid me, but you're following my lead. I'm leading you to the truth. You people are stupid cattle. You people are stupid sheep. Therefore, you got to pay me to protect you.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
She wanted to protect everyone there that's with them at that panel, as well as watching those archives, because in that sense, you're all there.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
And she wanted to protect you all from hearing my name or from hearing about this case.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
So I find that kind of ironic and kind of funny how Anthony Sanchez then puts himself in the place in this code to where now I can help him also to kick his own ass, to expose him. He's exposing himself.
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network, we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present. Yes. And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know, I'm just saying that
He's exposing himself, like Kerry is.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
You see how this code down through time works? They're not going to be able to escape it because they stepped into the record. They stepped into the public court of opinion. Think of it as like a court case. And Mr. Hoagland obviously on the surface lied all over it. And we're calling him out on it. If you're reading between the lines here and following all these parts of what I'm doing, it's spelling out a scenario.
I'm NASA and you're not?
He's busted. It's no longer possible for him to keep secrets because he is being outed.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Because his own lingo, his own script, his own thin atmosphere of poisonous gas on the surface, the words coming out of his mouth as the germs are spreading from that thin atmosphere of poisonous gas, which lies the germs. Many germs are in the human mouth. So all this connects and ties. I dare anyone and want someone to please prove me wrong, because it's all consistent. And the fact of the matter is that she's afraid.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
She is afraid of where the potential of this case can go.
And I just want to protect everyone here.
She's afraid to be exposed for her foot in her mouth, as well as her exposure of herself that she helped and attempted to help eagerly to keep this covered up and to keep this from being an issue. But yet, again, in 2011, she had the chance. She had the opportunity. Because again, I'm going to reiterate that years previously, for a few years previous to this, I had already contacted her and Bill, okay? So this isn't new that this popped up. She ignored it. And again, I have the emails. I'm not going to get into it now until the time needed. She still has a chance to do the right thing. But she came out on the record then in 2011 and stated that report to try to debunk Michael Vara of Late Night in the Midlands and Glenn Kennedy of Project N Search of their article that they put out on me. So, and that went viral. But still, look how many people seen it, and look where we're at now. It's still a struggle. When it shows that your guys' intent is not out for serious research nor about bringing forth the truth, but by covering up and aiding and abetting those that are keeping it from us and from you. Because I'm sure you're doing him a favor, because I am positive he did not show you those images. Okay? So you're helping set the stage and jumping on the side of the fence on his defense based upon how you think you know of him, or because in the position you think you are. That'll make you feel like you'll be seen again by the people. You're offered another chance to talk. What are you going to show? Bullshit? Because that's what you've shown at that panel, Stephen. Bullshit. Prove me wrong. Let's debate this on the air. Let's go on Anthony's show and talk about this. Hell, let's do a show on Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara. You know, he could be the good referee in this. He's supporting my fight. There's promises and potential thereof. And you, Stephen, are not in it. I still need all these people to help me to demand NASA.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Again, Hoagland, remember?
I'm NASA and you're not?
To give us the truth. To give us these images. To give us the data. Hoagland, in his dark words, is leading us along all through this panel answer regards to this. And he leads the way to which his panel answer does make sense, because I'm breaking it down for you, and it does make sense because in that light I'm helping to stop the confusion he was causing deliberately on the surface in regards to Anthony's question to begin with. Because behind the surface of his words, in the way I'm showing you, it's obvious to where it makes sense. Although from the Twilight Zone, hard to believe, but it is consistent that there seems to be another individual behind his own words that wants us to see this.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Remember, it's the dark and the light.
I'm NASA and you're not?
And Kerry, as well as Anthony Sanchez, has no clue about that.
I'm NASA and you're not?
And I just want to protect everyone here.
Yeah, so, and for those of you that are listening again, this has to do with a set of VHS tapes from 1993 called UFO Diaries. And apparently they contain many new faces on Mars that have never been released by Richard Hoagland or approved for release by NASA.
I'm NASA and you're not?
I still don't understand why, you know...
I'm NASA and you're not?
Up against everything we're going to talk about tonight is the political backdrop. that NASA has been concealing.
I'm NASA and you're not?
The real solar system, what it's really found.
The planet Mars is next to our own, the fourth world counting out from the sun.
Against that backdrop,
I'm NASA and you're not?
I mean, switching gears, but not totally, have you been following this George Zimmerman trial?
Of course.
And you know what the jury instruction is from the judge when for their deliberations? The judge basically says to a jury, if a witness has been found to deliberately lie about a significant piece of testimony, you are obliged to disregard all other testimony by that witness. You are aware that that's a legal, kind of mainstay of the American legal system, right?
Oh, man, but I've always wondered how a juror can merely disregard something once they've heard it.
Well, you can't unring the bell, as they say, so you have to take it into account, and then you put that piece of testimony with all the others, and then you weight it, basically appropriately, given that instruction that if the prosecution or defense proves that a witness has lied on some material point, not what color somebody's eyes are, or, what the weather was that day, but something really important, then you are obliged to disregard their other testimony. Well, I apply this to NASA.
I'm NASA and you're not?
We have proven over and over and over again that NASA has lied to us.
I'm NASA and you're not?
About what's on its images, going back to the first images taken of the
UFO diaries. In 1993, the fascination of the faces on Mars for me, and in my fascination with Richard Hoagland, who's been the big mover and shaker in all of that. We got him from Hoagland, we got him from NASA, and there you are. I mean, one of them's going to say, yeah, those are ours.
So if you apply that precept,
we got him from Hoagland, we got him from NASA, and there you are. I mean, one of them's going to say, yeah, those are ours.
We have to be incredibly suspect and incredibly distrusting.
Well, I'm suspicious.
Of whatever NASA puts out
down through time
as official imagery of anything.
Well, I'm suspicious.
So when I saw this image of the
UFO diaries
alongside the real stuff,
faces on Mars,
my first thought was, is somebody inside NASA playing games?
I'm NASA and you're not?
Placing this little creature in one of its
UFO diaries
images
in 1993,
so that all the anomaly hunters
down through time
will glom onto that
fourth world counting out from the sun.
And then, of course, because it's nuts on the surface,
surely no intelligent life could survive there.
They use that to discredit that other folks inside NASA,
I'm NASA and you're not?
who are trying to leak what the
Mad Martian
really is finding
down through time
are putting on the official website.
Go to www.thefacesofmars.com.
The Faces of Mars.
That's
www.thefacesofmars.com.
This is four-dimensional chess. Nothing is linear. Nothing can be assumed. And we have such short memories in this culture
down through time
that no one remembers that
UFO diaries
was designed with the primitive computer tools back then
in 1993
in the dark ages of the pre-internet
in a Masonic lodge.
So the idea that
Mad Martian
has shown us something that we didn't know, or more appropriately, that we should have remembered, is a little bit short-sighted on the part of all the rest of us, because this
Dick
has been doing this to all of us for decades.
Do you think it would be a joke for
Mad Martian
to Photoshop the rodent
Dick
and pop it into a
UFO diaries
picture?
Well, no, it wouldn't be a joke. It would be a way to
Mad Martian
to discredit folks like me
Dick
who come on Coast tonight
I'm NASA and you're not?
and are going to discuss the real anomalies.
The Faces of Mars.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The real artifacts, the structures, the evidence of machinery, of broken tools, of construction, of walls, of geometric, linkages.
In a Masonic lodge.
all that stuff gets lumped into the same category.
Down through time.
Because if you can discredit, again, like the witness,
I'm NASA and you're not?
the person telling you the story with one piece of later demonstrably false information.
And I have the awful feeling that Gary has been turned into a kind of misguided missile by the dark side, by the bad guys, in an effort to basically throw more spaghetti on the wall. And so I view Gary as someone who is predisposed to be susceptible to influences where he becomes a disinfo agent. The good news is, by Gary doing what he's doing, he's forcing more people to ask deeper and better questions like you, allowing me the opportunity to set the record straight.
Because if you can discredit, again, like the witness,
I'm NASA and you're not?
the person telling you the story with one piece of later demonstrably false information, then you can discredit their entire story.
Down through time.
Oh, have we lost you, Richard? Yep, we sure have. Or talk about being discredited, they have clipped you off again.
Down through time.
The great mystery at this point seems to be if the Enterprise mission and its colleagues can find all this, and so much more, then why can't NASA? Or is there something more? Is it possible that they have seen what we have seen, and also understand what's really there, but have a reason to keep silent?
We are your friends.